You know, what's coming to me when you mention like thoughts and emotions, I think one of the, I got a few different things on this, but one of the big things is that when it comes to taking action, a lot of us are stuck. And that's the thing. When we peel back the layers of the onion to get to the core issue there, often it's, I'm worried I'm going to do it wrong, or I'm worried I'm going to be
Mm.
wrong. I'm seeing this right now with my kids a lot. I'm seeing it a lot with everybody, and I know that I get that way too. And what I'm finding is that you're not going to get it right. So be okay getting it wrong. Accept that, like, there is nothing any of us have ever done perfectly the first time. It just doesn't happen. We didn't start, we crawled, then we walked, then we fell down, we took a step, we fell down. We didn't lie on the ground and say, okay, mom, you're going to have to carry me around for the next 80 years. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
We got back up and we did it. And and I'm not pointing fingers at things, but I kind of am. And I notice with the school system, I know for myself, it's like you go through it and you get a 98. I never had a 98, but let's pretend I did.
Yeah.
And you know, the question is, well, which question didn't you get right? And it's
Yeah.
like it's always that emphasis on what you didn't do or what you did wrong.
Yeah.
And now that we're out of school, or if you're in school, you realize that life really isn't like that. But that's some really old programming. Like, this is programming that hits you at 5 years old, where it gets
Yeah.
locked in, where it's like, you know, you were supposed to put eyes on your little puppet, or, you know, macaroni character. I don't know if they say
Yeah.
that in school, but and you didn't. So, you know, you only got 5 out of 10, and suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I am not perfect. I have to make sure I am playing by everybody else's rules. So there's like a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things that people have when they don't start is that they think they need to get it right away. And I will be the first person to admit I get everything wrong. I like, go listen to my first podcast, like, and go listen to today's podcast. It's
Yes.
still not perfect. It's never gonna be.
It's
But I
never
show
going to
up,
be.
and I do it, and I learn,
Yeah.
and I grow, and that is the biggest thing. So, you know, you're meant to grow. When it
Yeah.
comes to your thoughts and your feelings, your emotions, and that gut, I think that's the hard thing. It's like, people, I mean, I know I get in my head with it. I'm like, okay, is
Yeah.
this my gut? Is this my head? All
Which
this
one is it?
stuff. Which one is it, right? It's like, you'll know pretty quickly. And if you don't, just, that's one of the things you got to learn. I'm learning it. You
Yeah.
know, you're learning how to trust your intuition, and it's not something, for some people, they've been honoring it their whole lives, and it's great. I'm trying to get my kids to do this more and more, because the more you know that, you just know, like,
Yeah.
we have all had that moment where you're like, you know, I feel like doing this weird thing, like whatever it is, like, you know, I feel like I should go to this place or call up this person, and that person will call you, or you'll go
Ah,
to this
yes.
place and somehow
Yes.
you win something, or something, this really cool thing
This.
happens, and you're like, yeah, and then you're trying to put that lightning in a bottle, but it doesn't work that way. It just comes to you and you go do it. So, you know, if you're thinking about that friend over and over again that you haven't seen in 15 years, and you're like, I don't know why I'm thinking about them, call them. They're probably thinking
Yeah.
about you too. It's a weird universe. We don't understand how it all works, but we
Yeah.
know that these things happen. And the other thing that I really feel very, very compelled to tell the listeners right now is, you don't have to believe every thought you think, and your thoughts are not facts. And that has been two things I have learned over this past year, that have really just kind of blown me away. And, you know, when I have a bad moment, a bad thought, I can go, okay, that's not serving me. I'm choosing not to believe that. I've even gone so far as, you know, our amygdala kind of, it
Yeah.
sounds it's that part of our brain that kind of goes right away. So when you walk in the forest and you hear leaves rustling, your brain goes, then the amygdala pops up and goes, that's a tiger.
Yes.
We have to be careful. It's like, there's not a lot of tigers in Canada. I
Yeah.
don't know about Malta, but I'm guessing
No.
there's not.
All in captivity, the few of them we have. So.
Exactly. Right. So you have this thought, and so I nicknamed my my amygdala Amy, because that's the first couple letters of it. And so
All
when this
right.
starts to happen, I just go, "Shut up, Amy. It's not real. it's like we're okay, you know. And trust me, if I do see a tiger, I'm going to have to react to that, or you know, whatever, like
Most
large animal.
definitely.
It's never it's like it's usually a bird in playing with the leaves or something silly, but you know, we have to laugh at ourselves with
We
this
tend
stuff.
to
It's
think
like,
of
yes,
in the negative way automatically. It's like an instinct. It's like that's why the amygdala.
it
Um,
is.
so we have to. Uh, in psychology, this is called metacognition.